What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block strongest man, and tonight we're going to discuss Savage Strength Challenge 4 and Iron Warrior Women's Pro-Am, hosted by the legendary lightweight Christina Bangma, and coming to you this weekend on May 22nd from Instrong, Indiana Strong in Indiana.
Ciao, homie.
So let's talk about the competitors and the events in the different weight classes and discuss what we think about predictions for this upcoming awesome Strongman Corp sanctioned event coming up again this weekend, May 22nd in Indiana. So let's go have a look at who will be competing this coming weekend and what those events are. So if we have a look at the magic spreadsheet, you'll see that I've listed out the events and the competitors by weight class. So, what are the events? Well, there's an overhead press medley, which is an axle to be followed by a 10-inch log, and then to be followed by a 12-inch log. So, competitors will have to master two different sized logs in this overhead medley. We then move on to a car deadlift for reps, and Christina describes these weights as heavy, heavier, heaviest, even heavier, things like that. So they're cars. You can't really tell exactly what they weigh until the day of. So that's why I have all the question marks here, but they'll be weighted accordingly to the different weight classes to make it just as challenging as they need to be. Max keg over bar. So they start off at a minimum weight for that weight class, and then the competitor who can get the highest weight over the bar will win that particular event. For the open women's class, it's Atlas stones instead of kegs. And then we move on to a keg press overhead for reps, with these different weights for each weight class. And then we end off with a farmer's walk, 150 total feet, so 50-foot lengths, 2 turns for a total of 150 feet. So those are our events for this contest. We then move on to the open women's middleweight class, and the open's middleweight class is really exciting. It has included there Katie Chaos Rogers, Alex McKee, and Gabrielle Bergholzer, who set a world record Mauser block press at the Mammoth Strength Challenge back in January of this year. And so how do I think they will all fare? Well, let's take a quick break and go look at some of the training of some of these ladies so you can get a visual of what we're describing here. But then we move on to Katie Chaos Rogers, KD_Chaos 480. Definitely follow her if you haven't yet. Katie was like the second person I ever interviewed by 5 minutes. Leela Worley was the first by 5 minutes. They were sitting in the same restaurant together after the Mammoth Strain Challenge, and awesome. I'm a huge fan of both of them. So going through here, you can see Katie's got a lot of family stuff, but also some stone loading. This is a 240 that she lapped, which is considerably more than she'll have to do. And then, kind of moving through, doing awesome with the keg pressing as well. So here she gives the information for us. 125-pound success keg press, a 135 success, close, but a fail on the 135, and then 150-pound axle for 8. 180-pound stone load, 3 sets of 6. So that's a lot of stone loading. And then her deadlift rig, 5 RM at 610 pounds. So if we go back to our spreadsheet, we'll see that comparing them, I have on the overhead medley, I think that Gabrielle Bergholzer, after seeing the stuff she did at Mammoth, it's hard to bet against her in any kind of overhead pressing event. So she did a 210-pound for a single on an axle, which I think makes her the best axle presser of the 3. Katie will come in second, Alex McKee third. And I'm a little bit conflicted here too, because Alex McKee also didn't share a lot of weights on Instagram. It was hard to judge, but it looked like she had a couple of contest wins, so she might take some of these events. It's just difficult to be able to tell without weights to compare to one another. So we may see a little bit of a surprise from my predictions here. Going into the car deadlift, I think that Katie Rogers wins the deadlift. Her 610-pound rig for 5 looked pretty easy. And in comparison to Gabby Bergholzer, who didn't do a deadlift rig, but was doing a traditional deadlift, 525, which is a huge weight for a middleweight competitor. 525 single she did, 9-inch deadlift. It was really slow, but still 525 is a huge weight. Just it's hard to compare when you don't see somebody doing the neutral grip deadlift style. So I'm going to say Katie wins, Gabby second in that particular event, and Alex third. Again, Alex could surprise. I just don't have the information to back that up. And then the Max Keg or Atlas stone over bar. We saw Katie doing 180-pound stone for 6 times 3 sets. So that would equal about 200 pounds for 2. Gabby did 5 reps on a weight that I'm not sure what it was. So it's really hard, but she looked like she was really handling those stones well. I'm going to say that Gabby Bergholzer wins the stone over bar, and then Katie and Alex tie for second. Alex was doing more stonework than any other event, so I think she's going to be very strong there. I don't know what the weights were, but she seems very adept with the stones. And then keg press for reps. I only saw Katie doing it, but as I said, I can never bet against Gabby on any overhead press, so I have to say she's going to win this with Katie coming in second, Alex third. And then the farmers, I think Katie Rogers wins the farmers with Gabby second and Alex McKee third. I think that Katie, she's competing middleweight. She previously competed heavyweight, and I think being closer kind of to the top of the weight limit is just going to allow her to get momentum with the farmers a little better than Gabby, who might be at a lower body weight. They're both extremely strong, so that's a wash. So you kind of have to go with what is the differentiator.
So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.